G'day people, I'm Monsterdad. Welcome back to this Minecraft Vanilla 1.13 playthrough. So, last episode we started building the base of our tower over there. And we got the basic design figured out. So what I've done is been around and sort of finished all the sides. Dug out everything from the middle, which took almost as long as actually building the thing in the first place. But I'm reasonably pleased with the colour combinations and the design. Changed up a little bit at the bottom down here with some of the polished andesite just to break up the big long strips of brick. Added a few bits of the cut brick, the chisel brick, whatever it's called. The gates here because mobs kept wandering in. And I've dug out the inside and I'll take you up to the top in a minute. I haven't repeated the pattern inside yet because as I mentioned in the last video, what I'd like to do in here, at least up to probably about that level there, is on this side down to about there, and on this side down to about here to the wall, is build an aquarium on either side of it, because we need a 1.13 touch and feel to this area as well, which we don't have at the moment, and it's a big brilliant update with fantastic content, and I think we need to make most of it. So that's what I plan to do. So it'll be glass fronted. I'm going to back it with a lighter coloured one. I was thinking of polished diorite initially, but actually I might go with white concrete. That should highlight and show up the coral and the fish and the kelp and the bubbles and things that we'll be putting in there. Yeah. Oh, let's just sleep quickly. We'll get inundated with mobs again. So I'm not going to be working on the inside of the tower for a little while. So I'm just going to leave it like that. A bit ugly and plain, but it is what it is for the moment. So what I've done is sort of built it around this hillside, and I've changed out a lot of the grass for stone as well. So I thought that looked a bit better. The spiral staircase, I'm reasonably pleased to how that turned out. And it's come up at pretty much exactly the right level, which is great. So I'm going to put another door here as an entrance to the tower. Not much point putting it on right now because there's nothing in there to walk onto at the moment. It's just a big hole. I'll end up dying. So yeah, followed the hillside around. And get up. And sort of capped off the top in a way that I think should be okay. Let me grab a couple of dirt blocks because I want to get up there. Here we go. Okay, let's just do that for the moment. So what I've done up here is try to get the basic footprint of the upper tiers of the tower, and now these should go up at least 3 more floors, and then there'll be a peaked roof. Well, not necessarily a peaked roof, but there'll be a roof, a pointy roof of some kind on top. So I think that's about the size that I want with the upper tiers. And I was playing around because I wanted porches on each of these sides here. For obvious reasons, because it's going to be a great view over these royal gardens. That's what I'm calling it at the moment. I can't think of a better name at the moment, but yeah. And my objective today, by the way, is to build our Weeping Willow. And the first Weeping Willow that we'll build, I think, is going to go about right there. And I've got all the stuff for that one. At least I think I've got everything I need for it. Now, I'm playing around with the fence idea, and I think I might go for the mossy stone fencing, because the green kind of matches. It's a bit of a lighter green, but it kind of matches the green we're using in areas, and I think it looks a little bit better than the fence. The fence looks a bit cheap for the type of build we're going for. And since we don't do fences in the nice brick, I guess we have to live with that. I've had to do this and tidied up the door here a bit because it was just looking really ugly. Still, the retaining wall will go along here, so these will probably disappear. So yeah, I kind of like how it's going, and I think that the mossy cobble fencing at that porch suits what we're going for. I probably should have built that bridge there, shouldn't I? And the squid is still dropping their ink sacs for us. Thank you very much. And I think the spiral staircase sets it off nicely. Still looks a little bit plain at the moment. What I'm toying with the idea of is swapping out every couple of rows of steps with a different block, just to give it, not every other one, but maybe go for like 3 or 4 with the brick and then swap out with a different kind of block. And if I time it with the solid blocks that are in there rather than the half blocks, I should be able to just use, pretty much use any block I want. Now, I haven't yet decided what that will be. I'll have to think about it, but I think it will excuse me, I think it will break up that great big lump of grey that we've got there on the side. But yeah, in general, I quite like the way that tower is progressing. Good. So what I'm going to do is dump all my stuff, and I shall meet you over there in a moment, in about 2 seconds, with the power of editing, with the stuff I need for our Weeping Willow build. Later! Okay, welcome back. So I've got everything I need here. Should be everything I need. So first of all, I need the wood. And for the leaves of it, I don't know if you picture a weeping willow, but they're I grew up with weeping willows around me in England when I was a youngster. Down under now, so we don't see many of them, but by the rivers, they're beautiful trees. So tall, thin, oak-like tree that bends over the water slightly, and these big overhanging leaves that you could go in, and it's like a big canopy and a den inside, and the leaves come all the way to pretty much all the way to the floor, all the way around. Beautiful trees. Now, I've seen some builds with weeping willows, and people have used primarily birch with the leaves, but my feeling is the jungle leaves suit the style of the mottled style of the weeping willow leaves much better. So that's what I'm going to be using for this one. So what do I want first? I want some building blocks as well, so let me grab some scaffolding blocks. So we're going to build it about here, I think. We'll take it about, I think about that far away from the water should be good. So I think we'll build it. Do you know what? I might bring it to, I want it to go flush with the face of the logs there. So what I might do is bring this lake area out actually to about here. Because it's feeling a bit small anyway at the moment. We've got plenty of space over here to work with. So yeah, I'm going to bring that lake out to about there. And let's just sort of like angle that a little bit, get rid of those sand blocks. So all this will disappear. Okay. And I'll fill that in properly with water as a final little measure that we do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be good. That'll be good. So I'm probably going to fall off a few times here, but here goes. So what I'll do is start off with just some blocks up and then sort of build it out a little bit. Far easier when you practice a build like this in creative, and then you get on to survival and you've got to scaffold your way up everywhere. So it makes it a lot longer to complete and a lot more difficult to do. So the willow kind of bends outwards. Let's just get a general shape of it at the moment. This is not a finished trunk by any standards. Is that? How's that height? Might be a bit tall. Let's get rid of that so I can see what I'm doing. Boom. Yeah, let's take it out from about there, I think. Because they're not really tall trees, but they are quite wide. They have quite a large circumference. That seems like a better height. Yeah. Okay. So bend out like that. We'll be playing around with the trunk when we're finally done. At the moment, is it getting dark already? It seems to always be night time in Minecraft, especially when you want to do something. So I wonder if that's, yeah. Okay, let's go and get some branches on. I want that one to come up one more actually, and we'll go to about there and bring the branches out from there, I think. Okay, so branches, let's let's get, yeah, get one out from there. Now the branches come out quite flat. We'll take one out round about this way. I'm just getting a feel for where the branches are going to be at the moment rather than finishing the branches. We'll take one up from there. Should have left that. Should have left that till the end, shouldn't I? And I can hear zombies under me. And we'll take one, I think, from there. Yeah, that looks good. So let's try and do something with this one. So let's go. Actually, do for that branch. Let's take those ones away. Yeah. Go for that one there. That one's probably quite a good length as well, actually. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to bring a branch out from here. Oh, nailed it. So let's take this one out and around like that. You won't really see the branch. I guess you will in a way. If you go under the tree, you'll probably start seeing the branches. Yeah. But from the sides, they're pretty much hidden. Okay, let's take that way. I could do getting high. Getting high, excuse that term. Higher than this, so I can look down on it, so I can get a good feel for the position of the branches. Now those two need to be raised up. They should all be at least the same level. If any are higher, then it's the back ones that should be higher. Let's just repeat that, and we can take the bottom section away. Okay, and the same with this one. Go. We don't want that bit there either, so that's about the height of the tree. Now, I think I want that one to come out. we'll do that. There's no science to this. It's purely eyeballing it really to see if it looks okay and if it's sort of what we're going for. What I'm going to do, I think, is just take a very short branch coming out there. Okay, let's... Ooh. You know what? I'm going to take my armor off again because with all the jumping, I'm just going to ruin it. There we go. Alright, let's take that bottom layer away from there. We don't need that there. Okay, so that's what we've got at the moment. We have too many branches here, without a doubt, or too many blocks. Let's pop that there. We'll play around with the base of the tree once we've got a bit further with it. Okay, so how's that for a size? Oop. I think that's okay. That's okay. That's where that one needs to be. That's better. So now it's a case of starting to get some leaves on. And again, there's no real science to that. I'm not going to need that. So let's move that along. I may well need some shears as we go along. Okay, so let's get up to the top of the tree first. So quite a shallow layer of leaves covering the top of the tree, and fairly good coverage. We'll probably put almost a full layer of them on there at the moment. We don't want a complete flat canopy of leaves because that's not really how trees grow. They tend to have holes and gaps in areas. Yeah, so we'll join that like that, and so we're definitely going to need some kind of join up at this end. Okay, so yep, and then we'll do a smattering of leaves just above that, but not too many. That's a stack of leaves already. Okay, so and we'll want to bring these over a little as well. Okay, so far we'll go with that. Now we need to start giving it some shape. I am going to have to fill this back in for now because I need somewhere to stand. But I'll be increasing the size of this lake area here once I've done this. So at the moment, we've got a very boring shape going on with lots of them the same length. So what we're going to do now is sort of make it a little bit more random. I should really use the shears to take these off because in case I run out of leaves. So let's. Now we do want one of these hanging down. That one needs to be, yeah, like that. Go with that. Take that one off. So the ones near the water will hang down quite a lot, almost touching the water. Now I am going to add some vines to these as well. That needs something there to break that line up. Again, there's no science to this, it's just eyeballing it and seeing. Oh, there's a huge space there, isn't there? Just eyeballing it and seeing where you think things are needed, basically. Let's take that one up just by one, I think. That one can come down a bit further. Take that to there. I don't like that bit up there. Got it. Right. That bit's really big and flat, isn't it? So let's take those away. And that down by one. Let's add a bit there. Take that one away again. How's that looking now? It's getting a bit better. Can go all the way up there, I think. Let's do that. Go up there, and we'll bring that one down by one. Whoop. That's looking a bit better now. Not quite as not quite as even all the way around. I don't like that big gap there though, because this is going to be water under this bit here, and I feel that needs to be. Oh, do you know what? What I'm going to do is add vines. Let's do that now. Because we can sort of even some of that area up just by adding some vines. Let's get rid of some of that wood. I will still need some wood though. So vines, let's just randomly add some around at the moment, especially near the water area. Add that there. Just add a couple on the inside. And then not so many at the back. So I feel the vine should be kind of trailing down into the water area, but not so much at the back. And just add. Let's add one there as well. Just that will help cover that big gap there, and we'll add one there as well. Now, obviously, the vines need to grow. That one's grown already. Wow, and that one. Full beans. They must like it near the water. So when the vines grow, that's going to add a bit more depth and detail to tree and where it's hanging and cover a few gaps. Speaking of gaps, let's add that there. I think that will work. So what we need to do now really is have a look at this tree trunk, because at the moment it's just a mess. So let's that's what I wanted there. Let's get rid of that one. Way too neat, way too neat. And we can add, I think, another branch there. Okay, the actual trunk, reasonably happy with. So now it's, in fact, let's take that bit away. What we want to do is give the appearance of some roots. So let's take a few blocks away around it. And let's add a few roots in. Might be too many. That's too many, isn't it? Let's take those two away. Okay. We'll go with that. Now what I want to do is change up some of the, not all of them, but some of these logs, like this area here with the ones with the bark on all sides. I think some of the logs, seeing the ends of the logs, look okay, but in some instances like that, they need to be completely covered in bark, and I think I'm going to do it with this one as well. In general, the ones near the bottom I think need it, and I think that one needs it as well. I'm wondering whether we need to do it with the ones on the edge here. Let's have a look and see what it looks like. Is that better? Or is it better if we change all of the log areas to those? Let me know. What do you think looks best? Do you like a bit of the end of the log appearing on this, on the trunk, or would you prefer it all to be bark? I'm not sure. I sort of like both. Anyway, I think we've finished with the actual tree itself. What I need to do now is do a bit of detailing. So for that purpose, I've grabbed a bit of podzol from the logging camp up there. We've got our grass blocks. I've got some torches. I've got some birch, some hidden lighting. I didn't bring any bone meal, which we'll have to get. So what I want to do is get some hidden lighting in, and I'm going to use the birch leaves for that, because I think it's a bit more subtle. And we'll just add these in little areas. Oops. Like this. Not too many, probably about 3 I think will be fine. Where do we want one? Where else do we want one? I think we want one around this side, don't we? Then at night, that's going to light up the tree from the inside, which I think will have a nice effect. In fact, it's nearly night now, so let's have a quick look. Yeah. Yeah, vines are beginning to grow now, and I think that's looking all right. Probably do with a couple of vines on this side, but we can tidy that up. What I want to do now is just quickly grab a bit of bone meal and get some grass and flowers around it as well, and then I'm going to change out some of the grass for some of the podzol. As it's a big overhanging tree, not a lot of light gets to the area underneath the canopy of the leaves, so it would be likely that some of the area would be kind of muddy and not much grass growing. So bones, where are bones? Them bones. There we go. So I can mark out the area now where I want the lake to go. So I think I want that at least down to about there. Okay, so I need to get some buckets of water and fill that in. I think that'll be better because the leaves should be overhanging the actual lake. They shouldn't be overhanging ground. They don't grow so much in a field. They tend to grow on the banks of rivers or banks of lakes. So I'm munching some fish. So the next thing we want to do is change up some of this for the podzol, just sort of randomly. Nothing too deliberate. And the nice thing about the podzol as well is it has that mottled green fleck in it, as well as if you've got leaves and vegetation that have dropped onto it. So it's perfect for this kind of thing. Okay, let's get all that out of the way with. Now let's grab a bit of bone meal and add that around. Okay, and then we can sort of tidy it up if we feel there's too much grass. I think I'm going to remove some of them, particularly from underneath. How's that? If I can get out. It's a bit better, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to fill in that water and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so we fill in the water now. I think the lake's better there because it was looking a bit round as well. It needed a bit more shape to it. At some point I may take it down another notch to about there, another couple of levels, and step that down like that. I'm not going to do that right now. That would be a bit of a task with filling it in with water, but yeah. How's it looking? Vines kind of look a bit too green against that in some places. It's because that bit's in shadow. So I think what I'm going to do is remove the vines from that one that's in shadow. There we go. So how's that looking? I think that's looking okay. I think it's turned out pretty good. Yeah. I'll check what it looks like from top up there, and if I need to patch anything up a little bit, then I can do that. But yeah, so far so good. My intention was to have 2 of these, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have the space to do it, quite frankly. It turned out to take up a little bit more space than I anticipated. Yeah, I like the way it's looking. Yeah, I could probably do filling in just a few areas around here. That's looking a bit flat. But yeah, but I think it goes well in the royal garden. Like I said before, over here we'll have a nice big oak tree that will come up on that little outcrop there, which will be much taller than this. So at the moment, this takes up your eye in the area quite a lot because it's the only thing really that's standing above the lake. But once you have the big oak tree as well, then that will become secondary as an extra piece of detail rather than a main feature that it is at the moment. But yeah, okay. Well, I'm pleased how that turned out. Let me know what you think. If you found it useful to see one of the trees being built, if you like the look of it, please let me know. If you think it would be better somehow, let me know. Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Monster Dad. Need to put my armor back on. And I'll see you later. Bye.